Hello. So I'm about to produce liquid soap. It's always in high demand. Most people want to learn how to make it, and it's actually very simple. I'll take it step by step so you don't get confused. This is our SLS. It's always important to soak it first. Alright? It's always very important to soak it first so that it can dissolve early enough. I'm going to stir it so it doesn't settle. Now we let it settle. We allow it to dissolve, I mean. The next thing I'm going to dissolve is our caustic soda. Please, when you are doing the caustic soda, be very careful. It's always very hot. Please be careful. You stir also so that it doesn't settle. These two chemicals are settlers. So you can see that. The next thing I'm going to be dissolving is our soda ash. Soda ash. Also stir so that it doesn't settle. You might be wondering what measurements of water to use, but I'm going to indicate it because I already know measurements. That's why I can put them in buckets without indicating. So I'm going to be adding water here. For the next thing I'm dissolving, which is our STPP, our happy STPP. All right. Being able to produce these things is a plus, but sometimes you save more. Not even sometimes, you actually will save more. So you also stir. If you notice, for everything that we put in our buckets, we have to stir each of them. This is so that none of them settles. Right now, we start the proper production. Every other thing we did, we have preparation. Okay, so now we're going to start the proper production. We're starting with our nitro soap. When you're pouring in the nitro soap, be careful to pour it in gently. And as you're pouring it in, you don't pour it like other chemicals, right? As you're pouring it in, you're stirring it. So you pour it in gently. And always, if you don't have a nose mask on, make sure you're not too close because it's going to come up. So let's see. So you notice how I poured it. It's different from how I poured in every other thing. Every other thing I poured in at once. But if you pour in your nitro salt at once, it's going to have lumps. Alright? And that's the base of your soap. So you don't want to do that. Really? You don't want to do that. Alright, so my nitro salt is nicely stirred. The next thing I'm going in with is caustic soda. Sometimes it's good to stir before pouring in case it is settled down. And every time you pour in your chemical, make sure you stir. If you look at the consistency, you see that it's getting thick. I'm going to rinse off this and add in. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to be pouring in is our soda ash. Our soda ash is, sometimes it doesn't dissolve totally, but you can still use it as like that without pouring in particles. You can see that lump in there. All I'm going to do is just add a little bit of water and crush it. So that was our soda ash. The next thing I'm pouring in is our SPB. If you look at the consistency, you notice that it's not as thick as it was when I added the caustic soda. But don't worry. Next entrance, do the magic, don't worry. So now I'm going to dissolve my hexapon and sulfonic acid in water. I'm going to rinse off this bucket and use. This is a hexapon. Hexapon is always like, it's pap-like. Yeah, it's like a gel. Pour it in. Make sure you get everything out, because you need all of it. Thankfully, we're using our gloves, so it's okay for you to touch your glove. That is it. Okay, so we're pouring our sulfonic acid. I always rinse off the bottle because when it settles, you see a lot of sulfonic residue. So I like to rinse it off so I don't have to go back. Note, this also usually gets very hot. So please be careful with it and always use your gloves. Always use your gloves. Now I'm going to stir both of them together. stirring to make sure that the hexapon and the sulfonic mixes very well together. Now it enters the main mix. Stirring your soup well helps to boost your production, okay? So I'm going to put in my SLS. SLS is a foam booster. See, it's nicely dissolved. Stir it. This is also cocamide, a foam booster. Like I did with the sulfonic, I'm going to get all the goodness here. There you have it. Next, I'm going to pour in my glycerin. Then my perfume. Usually it's best to leave your production for 12 hours, all right, before you pour in your perfume to retain, for it to retain its fragrance. But for the purpose of this video, and this will be going to be used up soonest, so I'm going to be pouring it in directly. I'm not waiting. So if you're going to be using it for a long time, say 2-3 months or more, please wait for 12 hours before pouring in your perfume and your color as well. So I'm going to be cutting open my color into one of these buckets. I like my soap very bright, so I'm using 2 colors, 2 ties, yeah, 1 color or 2 ties, so that the color can be beautiful. Most people like to use the latex glove, but I prefer to use this because it protects your hands totally. And by the time I'm done producing, my hand wouldn't have any feel or any experience with the chemicals. So that is why. We'll see how beautiful our soap looks. There you go. Mmm. So colorful. Can you see how beautiful it looks? Now I'm going to be adding in more glycerin. Why? Because this will be used for washing of clothes and so many other things in multi-purpose soap. And I'm always big on glycerin. So I have extra glycerin here, and I'm going to be pouring in a good quantity, right? That's about half of this, and this was half a liter, so that's about another half. This is why when you use the soap to actually, another reason is my skin is quite sensitive, so when I have good supply of glycerin in my soap, it protects my hand from peeling. Some people use some soap and it begins to peel their skin, but this will not do that. So our soap is ready. Our soap, if you come closer, you would see how beautiful it looks. After about 12 hours, oh, I want you to see the color. After about 12 hours, it will still thicken. Alright, and I might add more water because I don't believe in soap being too thick. I like my soap very fluid. Alright. Now this brings me to the end of soap production. I hope you liked it and you learned. Alright, so I'll be moving on to the next thing soon. Thank you.